In this video, we will discuss what is probably the most important organ in your body. And no, it is not what you are thinking right now. When we say the most important, we do not mean in a sense of how fast we die if it stops working. We mean it positively, in a way that can improve your life and health in many ways, if we only treat this organ with utmost care. We talk about an organ that gets little attention, but yet influences all glands and hormones and all other organs. Fixing just this one organ can be the holy grail of your overall health and longevity. Learn here what you personally can do to just do that. Stay until the end, and if you like what you see here, subscribe to the channel because much more is about to come. Let's dive right into it. A simple Google search for most important organ of the body points mostly to the brain. Well, are they right? Perhaps. Rudolf Steiner, the famous Austrian lecturer of anthroposophy of the last century and founder of the world-renowned Waldorf schools, had a very surprising answer to the same question: what he believes what the most important organ is. He said, it is the pineal gland. The reason behind it, he explained, is simple. This small gland which sits right in the middle of your skull controls everything, every hormone and all other glands. In ancient times, this gland had even a much greater awareness, as this is the case today. It has been considered as the third eye, something mystical, that can extend your senses to the universe. In Indian yoga, this area between your eyes has still today a very significant meaning, just because of the pineal gland.
Namaskar. Since ancient times, yogis have always given much importance to the space between these two eyebrows. This is the space where some of the yogis believe that our soul resides. And this pineal gland is a pea-sized organ which is situated between two hemispheres of our brain. This spot is also referred as one of the chakras, that is called as Agna chakra, which is represented by two petals. And these two petals automatically symbolizes the two hemispheres of our brain. This is a source of our mystical dimension of our life.
Through meditation, yogis try to activate the pineal gland, as Hansi Yogendra here explains. We put a link in the description. But there are possibly two problems with that. Maybe you are not into meditation too much at all and would like it easier. Is there no magic pill? The second problem is activation of the pineal gland enough? Activation of the pineal gland is good and a perfect start. But most pineal glands today are heavily calcified. An 8-year-old has a pineal gland which is about 10 times the size of an adult, and a calcified pineal gland opens many doors for disease, since it is unable to do its job. This brings us to another expert in the field. His name is Dr. Edinger. He holds 2 doctor titles from Germany and 1 from Russia, where he was involved in space science. In his clinic in Germany, he treats patients with various diseases just with one tool, and that is high dosages of melatonin. Have a listen.
Today we are talking. Can you tell us what has been scientifically proven about this gland? Maybe just in a few sentences.
The purpose of the pineal gland I cannot describe in a few sentences. It is so gigantic. Let us start here. The pineal gland is the one organ that is second most flooded with blood. It has the size of a pea, because it has become smaller over time. For example, an 8-year-old's pineal gland measures 10 times the size of ours. We have poisoned it over time through many things coming from outside. Its location is right in the center of your brain, thus it could influence anything we hear and we see. I say could, because its functions have been diminished. It can influence all hormones. It is the chief of all hormone glands in your body. It is responsible for your short-term memory as well as your long-term memory. It is very much responsible for thinking as such and the distribution of your thoughts and even for telepathy, which was a very important thing in ancient times. Possibly the pineal gland was also much larger then as it is today. Within nanoseconds it gives impulses through your brain waters and through retrospinal channels along your spine, thus it influences your entire microbiome. Normally the pineal gland controls the entire brain. There are studies made by Pierre Pauli. He planted the pineal gland of an old mouse into a young mouse and the pineal gland of a young mouse into an old mouse. The result was, usually the average mouse has a lifespan of 700 days. So the young mouse with the old pineal gland died already after 500 days and the old mouse with the young pineal gland lived over 1000 days. If we calculate this with a special computer program, based on what we know what is happening when 300 milligrams melatonin is given daily, then we can assume that a person who usually would die at 75 years old could gain another 35 years in lifespan, only by making his pineal gland function again. All the experts on high dosages of melatonin agree that you cannot take it orally because it will only be 2.5% to be absorbed. 2.5% of 100 milligrams or of 300 milligrams or even 1000 milligrams cannot activate your pineal gland. There is no way. You have to take it transdermally or as a suppository. But is it not dangerous to take such high amounts of melatonin, and does it not make me addicted? Well, to both a big fat no. Have a listen, what Dr. Lou Rand has to say about this topic.
This is the deal. Melatonin doesn't have a negative feedback loop, okay, like most hormones. You can take loads and loads of melatonin for a long period of time, stop taking it, and guess what? Your normal production keeps going. So there's not the negative feedback loop like there are with a lot of hormones, like testosterone and estrogen and progesterone and things like that. So you don't need to worry about that with melatonin. You can take massive doses. In fact, they even looked at dosing in animal models and stopped the studies when they got as high as what would be comparable to a 115-pound person taking 150,000 milligrams. So you don't need to worry about taking these huge doses either.